Every day is different. It's a new day. What we experienced yesterday in terms of the weather is exactly what goes through our mind almost every single day. Stormy, dark, gloomy, rainy, sometimes intense emotions with downpour, and sometimes just absolute peace and calm. And although the remnants of the previous day may linger, we are resilient enough to carry us through towards the next day. The state of our mind and what goes on our planet are very much connected. Our own emotions and expressions of nature, storms are brewing inside our hearts and minds, and unless and until we find a way to express these emotions and articulate in creative and productive ways, we will continue to witness the onslaught of nature and wildlife. In that documentary you just watched, we heard Dr. Nick Bates tell us whatever happens in the far distance is coming back to haunt Bermuda in the near future. The Greenland ice sheet is melting and will impact Bermuda's rainfall, but nobody would have ever made that connection. And just today, this morning, the world's top scientists released the most important report in decades, proving once and for all that climate change is indeed a massive threat. It's a global wake-up call to save our planet. And this report, which was written by 2,000 scientists, will be the most comprehensive body of evidence on global warming in years. And they clearly, unequivocally, they said that it's human-made and that urgent action is required by our governments to avert the impact it could have on our Earth through droughts, storms, sea level rise, melting glaciers, and ice sheets. And climate change will affect all of us, starting with our coral islands, our crops, our seas, and our coastal cities everywhere. Just 2 days back, I read an article which made a direct connection between wildlife trafficking and human security. The elephants are being slaughtered at an unprecedented rate for their most coveted ivory, and the money generated is being used to feed terrorist organizations in Somalia. One report suggests, quote, the ivory moving northward into Somalia is believed to be a funding source for Al-Shabaab, which is a group affiliated with Al-Qaeda that claimed responsibility for last Saturday's shopping mall killings in Nairobi. Did you guys hear about the shootings? Yes. And so, you see, do you guys see the links between, all what's going on with, the natural disasters and wildlife poaching and how it is impacting our society, right? If the security of one nation is impacted, it affects all of us. We need to make time to contemplate so we are able to make these connections. A recent research suggests, quote, countries that do not value and cannot protect their natural heritage tend to be less stable, less secure, and less bound by global norms, with attendant risks to all of us. The issue is much bigger than localized tension between communities and wildlife that are known to farmers and ranchers the world over, and increasingly, criminal and violent extremist organizations operate in sophisticated multinational networks, unquote. What happens to nature and wildlife is directly connected to the social fabric of our society, and it creates ripples across the planet. We just can never predict how, because nature is mysterious, and things will begin to unfold in the most unexpected ways, as we are seeing right now. We think we are intelligent, and we've got it all figured out, and we know what to do, but time and again we'll be proven so wrong. The good news is we still have a chance to make a difference and do something. We need to get connected with the depth of our emotions and reflect to figure out what's going on. Our planet is sick. Human beings and human health is also deteriorating at the same time when you consider the number of overweight and obesity that's going on around the world, especially in North America, about 60%, 66% right here in Bermuda. In order to thoughtfully handle what's going on and what's happening on our planet, each and every one of us need to make time to contemplate. So our compassion and kindness will be reflected within our close circles, our families and friends, and then ripple across the communities and the farthest reaches of nations and the entire planet. Because what we feed our body and mind is coming to haunt us back. So the question is, how do you deal with these emotions, right? How do you contemplate? Do you set aside time for reflection in some disciplined way? Basically, contemplation I don't know about you, but for me, when I contemplate and meditate, it silences me down. You must have seen I've never stopped, just been wandering around, and David was telling me, why don't you just sit down, stop, just unwire yourself, right? Contemplation is the key to making that happen, because it will sharpen our ability to see current reality, meaning what is, rather than what we want. And so, at the end of the day, when we contemplate, we get connected with our own emotions, and then we are motivated to do something about it, rather than ignoring our emotions or suppressing it, and rather than just sort of, saying, well, I don't want to really get caught up in what's going on out there, which is what most of us continue to do. We are so caught up in our day-to-day activities. But getting connected with our emotions is just so very important. And that is one of the things that is absolutely vital to do something about our planet.